This video is going to work through two problems that deal with some applications that involve rates and along with some conversions, just to give you sort of a sense of how we might find the rates and then what we can do with them. So the first one is actually revisiting a problem from an earlier video where we found how much water an Olympic-sized swimming pool held. So we had that Olympic-sized swimming pool, and it held, if you remember back in that volume video, 3,750,000 liters of water. Now, if you go to a website and look up the cost of water, there's a tiered system, but when you get beyond a certain amount, which obviously this is, water costs $3.75 per 1,000 gallons. And so if I wanted to fill the pool, how much would it cost? Now, we could argue a little here that we don't actually fill pools to the top. And if I was given a little more information, I might say, well, we probably are only filling about 90% of the pool. You know, there's that little rim at the top where, the water doesn't actually go to the top of it. For the sake of this problem, we weren't given that fine piece of detail, so we're going to assume we're filling it to the top. Just so we get the sense of the problem without having to worry about the percentage thing here. Now, there's a few issues here. One, the volume of our pool is measured in liters, but our cost is measured in gallons, and specifically it's measured in thousands of gallons. So we sort of have two sort of conversions we're going to need to deal with here. The first is I want to turn my liters into gallons. So I have that 3,750,000 liters, and I want to turn that into gallons. And just like with all the other straight up conversions, I'm going to put this into my conversion calculator. I already did that. You should get 990,645.66 gallons. Okay, so we have our conversion. I now have it in gallons. Now, keep in mind here, we have this per 1,000 gallons. I want to turn my water cost into a unit rate. So that's sort of the second conversion I have going on here. And so to do that, basically, I would set up my dollars over the number of gallons. Well, I have $3.75 per 1,000 gallons. And that's going to come out as 0.00375 dollars per gallon. And that's the reason why they list it per 1,000 gallons, because it's a fraction of a penny per gallon of water. All right, so we have our cost per gallon, we have our number of gallons. All that's left is to multiply the two numbers. So if I want my cost for filling the pool to top, we're going to say to top, because remember we didn't take out any of the water. So we have the 990,645.66 times that unit rate, our cost per gallon. And that ends up equaling about $3,714.90. For those of you who thought, oh, it's not going to be that bad, that's a lot of money to fill the pool. And a check that you did this sort of set up this cost expression right. You can also look at the units of your numbers to think about, did I wind up with dollars? So here we have gallons, and I'm timesing that by a dollars per gallon. And if you notice here, gallons and gallons simplify out, and I'm left with dollars, which is what I wanted to be left with. Woohoo! I set up my expression correctly. All right, this one was a pretty straightforward one. There isn't anything I was asked to do once I found that cost. It was just sort of working through all the conversions. The next one's actually asking us to make a decision and sort of use the math to support our decision. And this is one that I go through often in my head, just sort of thinking things through and sort of reasoning stuff about whether or not I need to fill up my tank with gas. So my destination is 90 miles away, and the fuel gauge on your tank shows about a quarter of a tank left. Now, if my tank is full, it holds 12.2 gallons of gas. And I know that I get about 25 miles to a gallon. And so I need to know, should I fill it up or not? And then back up my conclusion with math. So there's lots of different ways that I could start this. I personally want to know how much gas I have left in my tank. And so if my full tank is 12.2 gallons and I only have a quarter of a tank left, if I take that 12.2 and I times it by 1/4, that's going to tell me that I have 3.05 gallons of gas left in my tank. And so I need to know, on 3.05 gallons, will I make it 90 miles? Okay, well, we're given a unit rate. We're given 25 miles for 1 gallon of gas. So for each gallon of gas that I have, I can drive 25 miles. So given that I have 3.05 gallons left, if I times that by my 25 miles per 1 gallon of gas, I would find that I'm only going to be able to make it about 76.25 miles. Now, some people might want to argue that, gas underestimates, you probably can make it a little further. But if I'm looking that I have to go 90 miles and that's 76 is what I'm coming up with, that's a significant amount less than the 90 miles. And I'm not going to risk it because I don't really want to run the extra 14 miles to go get gas and back. So I would say fill up. When in doubt, always fill up. I got a story about driving through West Texas and with my car gas light on. And ever since then, when in doubt, fill up the tank with gas. All right, and that's our final video in lesson 2. Hopefully these help give you sort of a sense of how we use our units of measure in different application problems.